Good morning. Yes, I'm smiling again today and chuckling. And no, I did not get a haircut. See? It's just behind my head, tied up in a tied up. Not in a knot, but tied up. The title for today's video is Honoring Free Will is the Right Choice. We've all been given the gift of life by our Creator. However we see that, and whatever we think that may be. As those of us that see OPPT for what it is, a declaration of freedom for all that choose to be free, that gift to be and to do includes free will. Many, like me, wish everyone would see this clearly and choose to be free and live in peace with one another. Nevertheless, there are many that cannot see clearly yet. A lot of people have been too wounded and are too fearful to be free and to see the value of freedom for everyone with all of the personal responsibilities that entails. The thought of people not choosing freedom, as I said in yesterday's emotional video, leaves me feeling very sad. I want all of us to come home together. Still, I know, and as many reminded me yesterday, I must honor each one's choice to return to his or her natural essence whenever and however is chosen by each individual. To honor free will is always the right choice. That is love. Let me say that the outpouring of love yesterday was wonderful and very much appreciated. Hundreds of people reached out to me to make sure I was okay. I got a number of phone calls. And yes, everything is okay. You see, I allow myself, and this is what I want people that watch my videos to get. I allow myself to be human, which includes the range of emotions that we experience together as humans. I choose to connect with the collective consciousness of humanity so that I can feel what is being felt by many. I can't feel it all at the same time because I live in time as a human being. I express and emote through time and space and my personality, my ego, if you will. But I don't want it to be a false representation of who I am. I am human. I am more than human. So are you. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with anything that I say. I'm simply putting out my thoughts, my feelings, my ideas, and sharing them with whoever is drawn to them for whatever reason, for as long as you are drawn to them. I've had people that have unfriended me and moved away and then come back and refriended me. And yesterday, I had two people apologize for some of the comments that they made. One of whom, if I remember correctly, and bear in mind, I read hundreds of comments every day. One of whom listened to the Monday Night Freedom Reigns program and had a different, and saw the OPPT differently than, I believe it was a man, than he had seen it before. And this is going to happen with a lot of people as we wake up. I'm not going to stay stuck in sad emotions, but I'm going to experience them when they're here. I'm going to dive in to my own humanness because I think that that's what is important. It's important for me. I think it's something everybody should do, but not everybody can do it yet. And I get that. And many people reminded me that it's up to each person to handle the energies that are sweeping the planet in his or her own way. In fact, uh, one of the comments this morning, as I'm looking through my emails here, I wouldn't worry about it too much, Ron. You know, everything the dark tries always starts off bad, but in the end, it will always fall apart. It always serves as an important lesson, and it will make humanity's victory that much sweeter. If we ever want to see things change, then we will have to endure some growing pains, much gratitude. And there was much gratitude expressed to me yesterday for my videos. And no, I'm not going to stop doing daily videos, although many recommended that I take some time off. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue day after day till I get a clear message from Spirit that I don't have to do that anymore. And then we'll see how it evolves from that point. But I haven't reached that point yet in my own consciousness. And I have to reach it in my consciousness. I can't do what other people do or suggest that I do. I can't always follow everyone's advice. And in fact, I got the opposite advice. Please don't stop doing the videos, Ron. They are important to us. And many people spoke plural, not just to themselves, but recognizing that a lot of people are blessed by my dedication to be authentic and to express a message of authenticity to whoever wants to listen. I'm not going to please everybody. And I recognize that each person is where they are. Now, Steve and I were talking last night. I don't remember if I think it was after the others had left. I think it was just the two of us left in the room at that point in time. But a lot of people in these changes that are happening because of the awakening, because of what the OPPT has done in the structure of our world, basically imploding the old structure and taking down the hierarchy so that we can be free. And again, there's nothing to join. That's what really pisses me off, when people start expressing what some of the naysayers and the opposers of the OPPT have said, much of which is not simply not true. Although I do understand, I do get that when people see opt-in, they think you have to join something. You don't have to join anything. And no one has rebutted the claims of the filings of the OPPT. Not one person has rebutted it. But as Steve and I were talking, we realized that there's an awful lot of people with a vested interest in the old system. Because from their point of view, if the old system collapses, what the heck am I going to do? Attorneys are going to have a really hard time with that, because the whole legal profession is going to change as we move out of admiralty law into common law, which is a beautiful thing, which basically eliminates most lawsuits because there's no damaged party. The state can never be a damaged party, not ever. So all of the claims against the state were made by the state, like marijuana things and prostitution and all the things where there were actions performed between consenting adults, consenting parties. There's no crime been committed, folks. All of that criminality is gone. You cannot commit a real crime against a non-real entity. And all of the states, all of the states and municipalities and government agencies, because they have incorporated, makes them not real. And we're moving into that newness, that new awareness, and it's going to change everything. But a lot of people are going to have to find new ways to spend their energy. They're not going to be able to spend it in conflict, because a lot of conflict will automatically dissipate. A lot of it will. And as people awaken and we start loving each other, we're creating the world that we want. We're creating the world that we need. We're creating something beautiful and something good. And it's happening. It's happening at an accelerating pace. Today is the full moon. It's supposed to be a high energy day. For many of you, it turned last night even, from you that are on the other side of the international date line in Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, and those countries in that region. You've already had the time change for you, but it's the 27th of, yes, it's the 27th of March. I had to look at the date there for a second. This is going to be another high energy day, and I think we're going to continue to have high energy days, and it's going to be confusing for a lot of people. And I'm not trying to force anybody, and nobody in the OPPT that understands what the OPPT is, that it is merely a declaration of human freedom. It's a declaration of human rights. And it's not something that it has bearing on the old system, and it identifies the new reality. That's all it does. It doesn't bind anybody to anything. And if you don't understand the way some people have used language, including me, like by saying that it gives you, the OPPT gives you permission to, what did I say? How did I say it? Let me just scroll down here a second. Gives you permission to be authentic. We've always been able to be authentic if that was our choice. But when we live in a world of lies, it doesn't feel like it's a choice. It feels like we have to play the game. We have to wear the mask. And that's why I said that it gives us permission to be authentic. I don't mean that you couldn't have done it before without the OPPT. Of course not. That's not what I meant. And you've got to think. Some people don't think. And that makes me sad that people jump to conclusions and that people don't trust. But I understand why people don't trust. We've been taken to the cleaners so many times. We've been misled so many times. When truth is staring us in the face, we don't even trust the truth, because all we've ever known is lies. And so I understand that. Now, I had to make a decision yesterday because some people said I should go back and unblock the people that I blocked on Sunday night. Maybe I will do that eventually. I'm not going to do it right now. If those people want to watch, they can choose to watch. There have been people that have gone away from me mad in the past and unfriended me and then came back again. Why? Because I do tell the truth. Because I am authentic. Because I do wear my emotions on my sleeve. Because I do emit love for everybody. I watched a beautiful part one. I didn't watch all three parts of a beautiful video. And I'm fairly certain, well, I'm not even certain. I was going to say they were Muslims. There was the turban and stuff like that. But there are other religions that use turbans, so I'm not even sure that that's what it was. But I honor people of all faiths, of all nationalities, of all races, of all sexual orientations. And I commented to my friend Gina last night. I says, "What happened to your face?" I was scrolling down my message list on Facebook, and I thought, she's gone. Well, she put this red box with an equal sign in it as her picture, and I didn't have any clue what that meant. Well, I says, "What happened to your picture?" And she says, "Well, we're fighting for equal rights for gays and lesbians to marry." Well, I support that. Now, that might piss some people off. Ron supports a gay lifestyle. No, I support people to love whomever and however they choose to love. And that's their choice. And that's what freedom is about. That's free will. Anybody that would legislate against free will choices of consenting adults is to me nuts. Okay? That's crazy to think that anybody has the right to dictate their choices to everybody else and try to make them follow their rules, and that includes drug uses and stuff. I don't use drug use. I don't use drugs. I don't even do over-the-counter drugs. But I do have a screwdriver now and again, and sometimes a glass of wine. Although we were talking about that last night a little bit at one point before. I think it was even before the meeting began, and and the one lady said that she likes to drink wine, and I said I like to drink screwdrivers, and I says as far as wine goes, I went and I got a bottle out of my refrigerator that was still 1/3 full approximately of white Zinfandel, and I says this has probably been in my refrigerator for a year or more. I I bought this for when I shared a meal with somebody some time ago here at my house, and I don't know that I've drank any of it since that night. And there's this bottle sitting there, and she says, "Well, that's no good anymore. You got to throw it out." Well, I'm probably not going to throw it out unless it really tastes bad. But wine never tastes good to me because I'm not a wine person. I like my screwdriver. I like the orange juice taste. Okay, but anyway, I get off on these tangents. It's crazy. Oh, and it's 16 minutes already. I guess I got to wrap this up, don't I? Free will. That's the gift that came with the gift of life. And we get to exercise it as we choose, so long as we don't hurt somebody else and step on their free will. And I do trust and hope with all of my heart that we're moving into energies now that will no longer allow people, especially governments that claim to have authority over others, that will no longer allow them to overrun the natural rights of the people. That has to change. Free will does not allow us to hurt another. Not without paying a penalty, not without a cost involved, not without repercussions. So free will ends. My free will ends where yours begins and vice versa. That's the way it is, and that's the energy that we're moving into, which is why the corporations have to come down, because they were people hiding behind a corporate veil, not taking responsibility and not being accountable for their actions. That's why the world has been the way it has been. That's why we've lived in a culture that is self-destructive. But we're changing. We're changing all of that. These are new energies. This is a new dispensation, a new paradigm, whatever you want to call it. This is the new heaven and the new earth being manifested right before our eyes. Thank you for listening. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for allowing me to love you. May you be blessed today in every way. Namaste.